It's time to play Cooking Mama in real life. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is GlacierCano here on my third channel for another TheCanoCam podcast. Thingamabobber, majigamadoodle. You always have to add as many, things that are not words in there as possible. You know, it's very important to me. But, I mean, I haven't done a proper one of these in a long time. So long to the point where my shelf, if you can see that, which you can't, maybe I'll put a picture. Because, I mean, that might show a bit. And, because, I mean, I'm not going to move the camera. I know that for sure, because I added an extra, layer for the games. It's all about the games, and most importantly. And yeah, it's a little bit higher up of a camera now, so I have to be so very tall and expressive in that kind of way. At least there's not too much headroom. You know, the rule of threes. You know, I'm directly in the third right here. So, I mean, it doesn't look like something's going to drop an anvil on my head. But yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while. And that's why I have a lot of just really random topics that are not really relevant anymore on the board for discussion. But the main topic that I want to talk about is E3. I think there was something else I was going to mention beforehand. The only other thing I wanted to talk about briefly, maybe to start with, is just my shirt. Because it's amazing. I got this from Comic-Con. You know, that crazy video that I had. It was just lying on the bed and doing stuff. It's fairly normal. In a way, not really at all, but the next day, right after those recordings, I went ahead and bought this shirt and that other one that you might have seen by now that was in that one video asking hey, what questions should you ask for the Q&A because I'm over 25,000 subscribers, blah 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 blah, which was the Doctor Who and the Daleks, which is a really amazing shirt. But I mean, I just really love this as well just because Claptrap is amazing. You gotta love the clap of traps. Okay? So, other than that, yeah, I don't think there was really anything. So, E3. That's the main thing I want to talk about. Because, still, it can always be a thing. Every year I can talk about E3 just because, for the main reason is because I went to Best Buy. They had another event this year for, still, E3. Where Nintendo, last year they had the Super Smash Bros. And Super Smash Bros. It was just Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. They just had the thingamabobbers. This year, I was really amazed with it because I just went there, Nintendo just announced, yeah, at Best Buy we're going to have Super Mario Maker. And I'm just yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I want to play it because it sounds like an amazing game and I really want to play it. And when I went in the wrong line for one. And when I went in the wrong line, they're just do you want to play on this 3DS? And I'm just sure. And then they're just yeah, so what it is that we have Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. It just was announced the other day, but you can try it. And I'm just what? What? It was amazing. Well, that is amazing. That's because I'm still in the current time of being there at the time. And yeah, it was just me, the guy that was representative of Best Buy, protecting the places, and he was playing with me and another person, and I'm really bad at The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, because I mean it's all co-op based, and I kind of fell off the side a lot, and I love the first thing I did because you can actually choose your little clothing, because it apparently. Each one gives you, certain buffs for, one it gives you bigger bombs or something like that. And the first thing I did is that I picked the Legend of Zelda dress. Because, Zelda, I was being Link, but, I mean, Link wearing a Zelda dress is hilarious. So, I mean, that's the most important thing. And apparently what that does do is actually give you more hearts that you can find in the pots and stuff like that, but it still did not help us at all. There was 2 of us wearing Zelda dresses, and yet we still did terribly. For the main reason that we were using, the gust things. It was a new item. Because, I mean, if you played A Link Between Worlds, if you haven't, you're a terrible person, because A Link Between Worlds is well, it's my second favorite Zelda game, and it's amazing. But they had a new item in it that's just it's kind of like in Skyward Sword where you have I still never remember it. what's the name of that thing? I always want to say the gust bellows or something. I don't know, but you have this little pot thing that you just like blow a bunch of air at things, and it's mostly used for cleaning in Skyward Sword, but in this game, it's just like shoots out a big gust of air all at once, and it just like can blow people across gaps, and that's pretty much it. And well, I guess blow bombs different like distances and stuff like that. So this item is used for co-op. It's mostly just a co-op kind of item, which is probably why it never existed in A Link Between Worlds. They maybe would have thought about putting it in there, but it would make no sense. So they had that, and it was still really fun. And then I actually went and got to play Mario Maker, which the first thing they said is just like, oh yeah, so before you actually play, we're going to give you a button. And I'm just like, oh man, a button. It's amazing. It's a pretty amazing button. And then they're just like, yeah, so then after you play, you get a lanyard. This is even better. Look at this thing. Because it has, like, both things. Things on different sides. And it's just, like, the most silky of smooth lanyards that you'll ever feel. You just... I don't know. It feels amazing. So, it's a really good lanyard. I almost would consider using this, and I don't use lanyards. Did I say lanyard? I think I might have said it wrong for a second there, but still, I might actually use that, because it's amazing. So, then moving on to actually playing the game, I think it's hilarious. At Best Buy, if anybody from the North Side Best Buy in Edmonton is watching this, your Wii U is broken. Well, specifically the gamepad controller. Get a new gamepad controller and it will be completely fine, but your gamepad is broken. Because what happened is that the control stick, you know how, like, in various control sticks, even like Xbox 360 controllers, if you have it for too long and you just use it a lot and it just gets worn out to the point where, you know, if it's just, it wiggles around and sometimes it just moves without you actually moving it because it's really... I don't know how to describe it, but it's just really like loose controller, and it just, you know, if you're holding up the gamepad, then it just like, it's in the down position at all times, and it keeps moving the control stick downward, and that's the problem. I don't know how many problems they actually had during that day, but they're just like, yeah, whenever we go out to the main screen on Super Mario Maker, it won't let us go back into the game. We just keep pressing on the screen, but nothing happens. It's because their controller was broken. That's the reason why. And they spent like 5 minutes, 10 minutes just like trying to reset the console, doing it over and over again, and they're just like, there must be something wrong. It's because it's partially due to the game. Like, the way the menu works is that you can press on the screen to like go to the, you know, you can play courses or create a course. But in that main screen, you can actually like move around Mario and like jump over some obstacles and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's an interactive kind of menu. And because of that interaction, you can use the control stick for just like going around, but you actually have to touch to go into the menu. But, you know, just moving the control stick disables the ability to touch. So, yeah, it was always pressing down at all times. So then when you try to touch it, nothing happens. So, I don't know why I'm explaining it so much, because, I mean, it's a broken controller. It was so bad. They don't notice it. People, like, they need to get me in there. And I mean, like, because after figuring out of playing a little bit, because I was trying to go through this one level that was all underground, and they're just like, choose the right pipe. And the pipe that went in originally, because I had an arrow to it, was the right one. The second time I tried to do the level, because I died, obviously. I'm not very good at platformer, like, side-scroller Mario games. More importantly, I figured out the reason why... Actually, I think I might as well continue one story before going to the next, but... Like, I was trying to go through that one pipe, and the second time when I died, I couldn't go through it because the controller was just, like, pressing down at all times, and I was using the D-pad trying to, like, platform swim upward, and I'm swimming up, and I'm just like, I can't go through the pipe, what's wrong? So then I just quit the level and just like went on to a bunch of other ones. I only completed one course. It was one that had Bowser in it, that you have to like jump over him and then you you hit the bridge down and he falls in some lava. So that was pretty cool. It was the most impressive one to end with and actually complete. The other ones were just like, okay, I'm gonna go into the bumper clown cars and just like go through the air and just there's Bowser in this one clown car, but there's also a Wiggler and a ghost and whatever else. It was basically every enemy ever in a clown car, and it was pretty awesome. I approve. So yeah, Mario Maker, like at least the levels that they had there, I wasn't very good at. For the main reason, I figured it out. It's a combination of two things of why I'm not very good at these Mario platformer side-scroller. Number one is because of the main fact that I'm not very good with the original kind of like Mario physics, and I was playing like all the 8-bit ones. The Mario from the 30th anniversary, 30 years ago, that's the Mario game that I was doing the physics of. The newer games, I'm better with the physics. That's the one thing. Number two, it was because of the fact that I was still using the D-pad instead of the control stick, and I'm better with the control stick. Although, actually, I'm going to say number three, the reason why I'm bad at this game is because I didn't create the course. So number four, why I'm terrible at this game, is because I was using the gamepad. And I'm not used to playing with the Wii U gamepad because it's like big and it feels weird. I like playing with just like regular controllers. Regular controllers are just like a lot easier to use for me because, it's not like my hands are across the room. What am I doing? Because even when I was using like the Wii U, well, not Wii U, but I mean it can be used on Wii U. The Wii nunchucks that you have the nunchuck and you can move it across and you can play like this far apart if you want. I would usually just like sit with my hands like right together pretty much. So it makes sense. So you gotta have your hands together if you're playing any sort of video game. So that's my thoughts on it. But like, yeah, Super Mario Maker, when that comes out, my plan is to essentially make that into a series on my channel because I love the sharing features with that. You can look at anybody that's made courses and that beat it and then they upload it to the servers or whatever, and then these are hard levels, these are easy levels, and you can play through them and yeah, just play a bunch of crazy courses that people have made. And that's what I want to do, is I'm just going to make a series of me just playing random courses, and maybe a bit of my own, maybe a bit, because I could probably make some good courses. Maybe. I don't know. So, yeah. Mario Maker, Super Mario Maker. You gotta add the super because it's always super. Super amazing and fun. Oh man, so good. It's so good. Even though I'm so bad. Because of those 4 reasons why I'm so bad at it. Maybe when you actually just go and play levels, you might be able to play with the Pro Controller. Maybe. If I can, look out. I'm gonna be doing some crazy things on my channel where I'm just like the most pro at platforming in Mario ever. The most pro. You have to have like a high level of amazingness. So I think I might just continue on with talking about E3 stuff while I'm on the topic, and also because still E3 just is happening and happened and stuff, and it's amazing. But my thoughts on E3 essentially this year is that going into it, I'm just like, oh man, this is going to be the best E3 ever. It's going to be massive and crazy and so on. And I think that's a bad thing. Overhyping anything is kind of bad, but overhyping hype is the worst thing to ever do. And that's why, when I first watched the Microsoft press conference, I'm just like, what? There's nothing here that really interests me. Why am I wasting my time? And then, I thought about, Sony and Nintendo, if they just show up, they would do amazingly and stuff. And I don't know, just nothing really excited me very much. And I think it's just overhyping the hype, and I should just be happy with what I get. Just especially being happy with what you get, that made me think of the DJ Hero thing. And people should be happy with that because it was a terrible game, apparently. And, you gotta be happy with what you get for that kind of thing. So, yeah. But, yeah, I just gotta stay positive because basically seeing the reaction to all of the Nintendo stuff that was shown for the digital event, people were freaking out. And I don't want to be the kind of person that just says like, oh yeah, this is the worst thing ever. Oh, because those people look really bad. Because they're just like, yeah, I wish that Nintendo would go die or something like that because they made a Metroid Prime game that is not Metroid Prime. I mean, I sort of understand that because still they basically took a game and then just slapped Metroid Prime as a name over top of it and expect people to not be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be really upset. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing. Because, I mean, you gotta have Samus in the game or else it's just not Metroid. Or at least, because, I mean, that's who Metroid is, obviously. And if Metroid's not in the game, how can it be Metroid? So, that's my thoughts on that, but I don't know, you gotta be happy with what you get, because especially since, like, Nintendo doesn't really do a lot for E3. They kind of do a little bit here and there, but next year is going to be better, but I have a feeling that there's going to be, like, Nintendo Directs are basically going to be what's showing off the next Legend of Zelda, because I know that they showed off the Zelda for Wii U, like, they showed that one demo with the horses just like, we can go around trees without even trying, because horses don't run into trees. And then you just, like, there was another picture that somebody had where they just had a horse with, like, their head stuck between, like, two trees or something like that, and just like, well, I guess some horses have problems, but Epona doesn't. And that's the most important thing. So, yeah, but what was I talking about again? Something about just like disappointment. It's just like Nintendo Directs. I think that's probably what going to be. They're going to have a lot of the announcements for Nintendo is just going to be during Nintendo Directs because that's usually what they do, and I don't expect Nintendo to do very much differently than that moving forward. Although E3 next year is probably going to be their big announcement of the NX, the next thing that they're doing, which is probably going to actually have an official name and not called that. But then knowing Nintendo, it might just become the name, so. But then, because, I don't know, there were some pretty amazing names for, I think that, like, the GameCube was, like, called Project Revolution or something like that, or just, like, the Nintendo Revolution, and I mean, it kind of was in a way, I still think. Or maybe that was the Wii. I think the Wii was the Revolution. And that actually was in a way. That was just crazy. I think that might actually have been called the Revolution. But the Wii is probably better because, you know, then you could just be like, yeah, it's a very simple name. It's Wii. And then everybody bought it because they understood the name, which doesn't make sense because it's not English or even Japanese, I don't think. I wonder if Wii means anything in Japanese. Or if it's just like, Wii, but then we have the two eyes, and then you bow and stuff. Because that's what they always did for the commercials that I believe had Iwata probably on it. I don't remember the commercials exactly of which Japanese guys were in it. Because, I mean, at that time, I didn't know who Satoru Iwata was, or, like, Shigeru Miyamoto. I don't know. I'm guessing those were probably the two guys in it. I'm guessing. Because, I mean, they're the two biggest guys for Nintendo. Even though now, like, what's his name? What's his name? I don't remember his name. Balls! I think it starts with a T. But, like, he's pretty big now for doing... He helped out with Mario Maker and also with, like, Yoshi's Woolly World. Tezuka. That's probably what it is. Mr. Tezuka. Let's say that's correct. So, yeah, that's basically the main thing I'm getting out of E3, is that, like, Star Fox was amazing for Nintendo. I'm gonna enjoy that a lot, and same with, like, Super Mario Maker. And, like, everything they showed for the most part, other than that Metroid game and the Wii U, like, amiibo party thing. It's Animal Crossing, but it's not, and we're gonna be making you spend a lot of money and waste your time. That's essentially what it is. I'm probably still going to buy it, but that's because I collect them. And I mean, nobody's going to buy it, so then it's going to be worth a lot of money someday. Even though I'm probably not going to buy the amiibo unless it, like, all of those Animal Crossing amiibo come in one package. then I might buy them. Or if they're easy to find or hard to find. I don't know. I might. But yeah, so everything Nintendo showed was pretty good. It's just it didn't have a big like, wham, you're gonna have Zelda Wii U, it's gonna be so good kind of thing. And you need to have that bam kind of thing to really end off the thing, because at the end of the digital event they just kind of petered out and you're just like, that was the end? Okay, that's probably why I watched after the Nintendo digital event. I watched for the next like 20 minutes about Star Fox, because partially because I love Star Fox still, but partially because it's just like, was that it? What? But I was still happy with the announcements fairly. This is not the biggest year. Nintendo has like, this is a big year, then a small little year, and then a big year, and then a little year. You know, it just kind of comes in waves. Like other things. I don't know. So, other than that, like, I was happy with I'm just gonna say now that I'm happy with what they showed for Halo, because still you gotta just be positive about everything. It's all good. It's all good. Sony, on the other hand, they made a lot of people happy, but not me. I was happy for Uncharted 4, because I mean that looks amazing. I haven't still played Uncharted 1 through 3 yet, even though I'd own them all. But Uncharted 4, it looked really amazing. I'm just like, yeah, that's a game that I'm going to be playing. Other than that, like, that dream thing, that freaked me out. I'm just like, what are you trying to do? These are just like a bunch of hipster games that just like, why? But it's just weird. But they made a lot of people happy with Shenmue and stuff. I've never heard of Shenmue before. So that's one thing. Final Fantasy, I'm just like, never played Final Fantasy VII. I would maybe get into it now because they're just like, it's so amazing. Ah! And people are just like freaking out. And then there was the other, what I really don't understand. Could somebody please explain to me the hype around The Last Guardian? I think it's hilarious that just like everybody's so excited about it, and then I'm just like seeing the gameplay and thinking, why? Why is everybody just like so excited about this thing, which doesn't really have any appeal to me at all? Because it's just like, you walk around with your giant griffin dog. I don't know why I said griffin so weird. Griffin dog. Gryffindor. I'm going to do that. And also, there was a phone ringing in the background and I was just waiting for it to stop, because it bothers me. Despite the fact you probably wouldn't be able to hear it, but if you could explain the hype around Last Guardian, that would be very much appreciated, because it does not interest me whatsoever, and I just don't understand it. Because it's like, I guess it's probably like that game Journey, I believe it's called, where you're just like, you wander around through the vast deserts, doing absolutely nothing. I don't understand it. I mean, it could be cool for the few minutes that you play it, but it doesn't really have any lasting or even any kind of appeal to me, so why? I don't understand it. So, yeah, Sony didn't really impress me much. So if I was actually going for like the best at E3, I might even still give Nintendo number 1 then. Despite the fact, like, I'm still trying to stay positive, but I mean, this was not a very good E3. But like, of the big three, I would give like Nintendo number 1, then Microsoft, then Sony, just because Sony's only given me Uncharted 4. And that's like the only thing. Microsoft at least has Halo, which still, I guess they showed like the Plasma Caster, which is a pretty amazing thing. And they showed a little bit of that one new game type for multiplayer, which I'm still undecided about. I need to play it first and see if my internet works. If my internet works on it, it's going to be the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Well, not exactly, but one of the bester things. Bester Sylvester Stallone ever. I don't know. It will be okay. Let's just say that. I'm probably still going to be more excited about the campaign of Halo 5 Guardians than anything else, but it'll probably be alright. And then also Microsoft had Gears 4. It looked kind of cool, because I mean, they bring it back to the darkness. They have the dark feeling that like Gears 1 had, and I love That's what I loved about Gears 1, is that Gears of War, when I first played it, I'm just like, whoa, this is like a really dark and gritty game that also has like a lot of gore, and it just really was unlike anything I've seen before. And then it just got really bright all of a sudden in like Gears 3, and just like, we're gonna have green everywhere, green and orange. And I'm just like, this is not Gears of War. What am I playing? This is not Gears of War. So, yeah, I like the dark and grittiness. That's why I'm kind of disappointed that the remake, I don't know if, maybe I'll have a link in the description or something like that, but if I can find it again. There's an article on Kotaku that actually showed a comparison of like the new remastered version of Gears 1 and the old version of Gears 1. And nearly every single one of the screenshots where you can just like show like, this is how it used to look, this is how it looks now. Almost every single one of those, I'm just like, so Gears of War 1 looked better than this? And Gears of War 1 came out in like 2006 or 7? Compared to a game that's coming out on Xbox One. They just took out all the textures on Marcus Phoenix. His armor, that like his shoulder is just like, I don't even know how you describe it, but it looks like Play-Doh. It looks like Play-Doh now. Their faces look like Play-Doh. They don't actually have like the scars and the deep indentations in them and stuff. And it just doesn't look right. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's just not right, man. So that's my thoughts on that. But I mean, Gears 4, it's still probably going to be pretty good. Yeah, because at least it's not like, whatever. It's just, I'm happy that they're going more into the darker style again. Possibly. I'm not entirely sure, because I mean, that was just one gameplay demo, you know, it's not fully representative of the original and full product that's going to be going through. Yeah. So there's that, and also like the main thing, because people are just like, oh man, there's the rare 30 titles for $30 thing. I'm really happy for that, yes, but nearly every one of those games that I care about of Rare, I already own, and I just recently bought Jet Force Gemini. I recently bought, well, I mean, I don't have Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's the one game that I don't have, which is going to be amazing to actually play that now. But like, I recently bought like Banjo-Tooie as well. Well, Banjo-Kazooie, that is. I already had Banjo-Tooie for the longest time, and it's in really good condition with like all of my N64 games, which are worth a lot of money because I have the boxes, and I didn't throw them out because I'm not an idiot. I'm sorry that if you feel offended by that, but if you throw out the boxes to your N64 games or Super Nintendo games or anything like that, why? Why would you do that? In the future, like, that's why I buy physical copies of things, because in the future when, like, we're on to the Xbox 7 or something like that, actually, you won't be able to have, well, maybe Xbox Live might not exist in the same state that it is today, and you might not be able to play your downloaded games on 360 or on Xbox One. They might revoke your ability because they just say, like, because some of the games that you actually have to be online, and if you go offline, it's just like, you have 20 minutes to go back online before you can play this game again. And if Xbox Live doesn't exist in the future, you lose all your games. It's just as simple as that, compared to actually having a catalog of games where they're going to be worth a lot of money. Both, you know, it's worth a lot to be able to play them, but also a lot of worth because people will want to collect them. So I was thinking ahead when I actually had all the N64 games, like, the instruction booklets are not the best condition, because, I mean, I was still very, very young, and I went through the instruction booklets a lot, just, like, flipping through them and just looking through the pages, because, I mean, they were just so much fun to read and just learn more about the games, and I just loved it so much. So there's that, but, I mean, the boxes, they're, like, in perfect condition. Well, sort of. I know there's like a little bit of a dent in like my Mario Kart 64, but I mean, my Mario Kart 64 is probably still worth like $150 or something like that. Because those are worth a lot of money if you have good condition Super Mario 64, yeah, but Mario Kart 64, that's what I was talking about. Super Mario 64 might be more expensive, actually. I don't know. I'd have to look up prices. I was looking at prices the other day, Still going completely off topic because I mean this is what I like to do. But I was looking at prices the other day for like GoldenEye 007 in the box. I can't find a price for how expensive the box of GoldenEye is. So GoldenEye with a box, like I've never seen one in the wild. I've never seen one at like a Comic-Con or anything. I've only ever seen the box for GoldenEye in my hands. So I'm thinking that might be worth a lot of money. I'm not entirely sure, but it might be worth a lot of money. So that's still, you gotta collect things. It's amazing. But yeah, the 30 games for $30 for Connect, not Connect, but I think there are Connect games actually in that because Rare makes Connect games now, so it happens. But the main thing I really hope is that, because Jet Force Gemini, as far as I know, is in the 30 games for $30 thing. I tried to play it on the N64 again, and it's so difficult now to play Jet Force Gemini because it's a shooter, but you only have one stick. And also, that one stick specifically, when I'm just like going into like crazy, like really accurate aiming mode, I think you do still use the R button. So I'm just like trying to go through, and there's these things flying through the air, and I'm trying to shoot it, but I miss every time because I mean I'm not very good with using an N64 controller anymore, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me. So playing that on an Xbox 360 controller would be a lot better. The main thing, I really hope that they actually have, well, not 360, but Xbox One. They better actually have dual stick controls for Jet Force Gemini. If they have dual stick controls, I think I might just do a playthrough, just like straight up. Because I love Jet Force Gemini. I don't remember a thing from it, pretty much, other than what I played just like the other day. And when I say the other day, I mean like a year ago, of Jet Force Gemini trying to get into it again. But I just can't, because the controls... It's weird saying that, because I mean, I can play Perfect Dark, no problem, on N64 still. Or like playing... I don't know, I could play most games on N64 still, no problem, but Jet Force Gemini is just one of those games where it doesn't work. It doesn't work as I want it to. Same with like, Silicon Valley. I can't play it very well on N64 anymore. That's not a Rare title, but unfortunately not, because or else I would totally, that would be amazing too. So those are the exciting things for Microsoft, but yeah, Nintendo wins just because of Star Fox, basically. Star Fox and Super Mario Maker, which I've already played, and it's still pretty good. I didn't get to choose and like create a stage, which it would be amazing if I did get to control and create a stage, but I just didn't have time, and I just wanted to play as many just crazy courses as possible, because, I mean, when you actually have the opportunity, you might as well, because I would only be able to create one stage and just like test it, compared to just playing like 10 stages. So, you know, I used the most efficient manner of doing things in that current location. It made sense. So, I don't know if there's anything really much else to talk about for E3 wise, because still, it wasn't the best E3, but it wasn't the worst at all. You gotta stay positive. Anything that they show is a positive thing. You gotta do that. If we weren't going for the big three for the press conferences, digital event in Nintendo's case, I think that Bethesda, they obviously won E3, because if they can get me excited about Fallout 4, and I only played a tiny little bit of Fallout 3, they did a good job. They did a good job if they got me excited, because they fixed the combat. I think that's the main thing. Like, I need to go play Fallout 3 again just to be 100% sure. But the main reason that, like, the game turned me off partially... Yeah, the main reason partially... It sort of makes sense. But the main reason is because of the fact that the combat, it just feels off. And the combat in Fallout 4, which they showed, it looks like they fixed it. It looks like they fixed it. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly. It looks more like a shooter now. And just like, they fixed it. Also, I guess it's partially they like added more things that like... Actually, to be fair, I have all of the DLCs for Fallout 3. so I should have all the items anyway. Whatever. It's going to be all there from the start, but also the main thing that, like, for Fallout 4 that I'm excited for is just building up a town. That's all I'm going to do in the game. I might do a playthrough of the game, but at the same time, I probably don't want to, because all the playthrough's going to be is just me sitting in a town, rebuilding it up. The first thing I'll do is I'm going to build up defenses before I even build, like, anything. I'm going to build up, like, a high-tech defense force, just, like, walls around me, and just, like, a ton of turrets. And then, once I have a brilliant defense, then I'll start to build my house, some markets, and, like, bring people in and just, like, hey, you want to live here? This is Glacier Canoville Fallout style. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, I'll probably think of a good name by the time, like, the game actually comes out. But Glacier Cano Fallout style. It makes sense. But yeah, if they managed to do that, then they did a good job. But Doom, though, at least for showing when they were showing the campaign of Doom that Bethesda's doing, well, id, I think, is still working on it. Bethesda's just like the publisher, but the campaign was not good. That's probably another reason that just, like, that set the tone for all of E3 right there, is that it just, they walked really, really slowly. It's very, very E3. They're just, like, walking the slowest they possibly can, looking at every little detail, when I want somebody to play the game as they regularly would. You just run through, just slice and dice and shoot people in the face. That's what I want. I want to see the full speed of the game, because also it was really slow. The combat looked slow from, like, the way they showed the campaign, because every 5 seconds they're just like, I'm gonna bone break ya, and I'm going to go and split your face in half. I'm going to take a chainsaw and individually go. That's almost like Chewie. Chewbacca is having a chainsaw. That's how he'd sound. And he cuts people in half, like, and takes a whole 2 seconds at least. It takes at least 2 seconds to chainsaw through somebody. And it's so slow. At least the second portion of the campaign looked a lot better, because they were actually, like, running faster, but just show me that to begin with, please. So, thinking positively about the whole situation, they at least showed that, but they need to think about what they show properly for a lot of the companies, because also, like, Microsoft, they had a lot of stuff they probably should have showed, like, it was 343's basically like vid doc kind of thing, where they actually showed off the new game mode for multiplayer. If they would have actually explained it instead of just showing, this is a trailer, bam, 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 over, then it would make a lot more sense, and it would be a lot better. That's all I have to say about that, pretty much. Like, man. But yeah, Bethesda would win if you're not going with the big three. The big three, Nintendo still somehow wins. Somehow. And then Microsoft just because of Halo and, I guess, the Rare collection. Other than that... Oh, that's another thing! Ah! Okay, so the one other thing that I wanted to talk about for E3... Why does every single new IP created by any company have to be post-apocalyptic, but it's not like post-apocalyptic in the cool kind of way, like Fallout, where it's just like, there was this terrible, terrible war of nuclear, and we have crazy future technologies like robots that fly in the sky, and they're all shiny and cool, futuristic. Instead, they go the Destiny kind of style. I don't like the stylistic choices in Destiny, because it's not shiny. It's not the shiny kind of futuristic. It's just like, we built things out of just like little pieces, and it's partially organic, but it's not. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a post-apocalyptic that just looks really, really crappy. I mean, like, there are some things in Fallout that is kind of like that, because, I mean, it's like after everything they're trying to, like, rebuild, but what I want for post-apocalyptic, or just like future but non-future, is more like Halo, because Halo it's all more sleek and sexy and stuff. compared to just like, this is a future that is really, really crappy and depressing, because this is like everybody died, and this is like Horizon. We have some barbarian woman with a crossbow that's like future tech, but it's old tech at the same time. I'm just like, why don't you just have future tech? Just have future tech, please. If you're gonna build a crossbow, actually make it out of metal or something, I don't know. And make it like all nice and shiny, make it look nice. So yeah, that was a big disappointment for like Sony. It's just like, people are just like freaking out going, oh man, Horizon is just so good. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, this looks really, really bad. Same with like the new IP that Microsoft showed off that was Recore. I think that's what it's called. That's another future like post-apocalyptic kind of thing that it looks kind of in that way, and it's just like, we have robots, but they look bad. I don't know how to describe it still, but it's just like the post-apocalyptic kind of style that just, they don't make it look good. I want a good-looking post-apocalyptic thing, or just don't make post-apocalyptic kind of things. You can make an IP that just is new in modern day. You can make an IP that's new in olden days. You can make a new IP that's new. Was I saying it like that? Well, that's new. That's like really far in the future, like Halo still. Just stop making like post-apocalyptic kind of style where it's just like only a few people are left and we're trying to rebuild. We're trying to make Fallout, but we're not trying to steal their ideas, but we're totally are trying to steal their ideas. It bothers me, but like Recore looks really bad. It looks really bad still too, in my opinion. You probably like it, because I mean everybody else does for some reason. People like that, and people like Horizon or whatever. The only thing that is good for Horizon is Forza Horizon. Isn't that what it's called? Forza Horizon? I think it's Forza Horizon. I'm trying to look for Forza. Where's my Forza collection? There's Forza 4 up there. There it is. Yeah, Forza Horizon. So yeah, that's the only kind of Horizon that's actually good. But yeah, there's lots of different kinds of new IPs that they could do. Just don't make that kind of style, please. Be more creative. Make it modern day, but just like with a twist. I mean, I don't know what that twist is, but I mean, figure it out. Be creative. Don't make the same kind of game as everybody else is making right now. Bothers me. Bah! But there is one new IP that isn't doing that, because Ubisoft is finally getting their head straight. That Ubisoft, this is like the biggest game for me, like out of E3 that I saw, sort of. Well, at least the biggest new game. Because I mean, Fallout 4 is new, but I mean they announced it before E3, so I mean we already knew it was coming. From out of E3 that just like is legitimately new from E3 is this game called For Honor. You know, it's like nobody's talking about it as well. I don't understand, like, am I the opposite of like everybody else in the world for gaming? Probably. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like everybody, there's also still Sony. I'm just thinking like all of their hipster stuff, but I'm like anti-hipster? I don't even know. But then again, that would make me a hipster. I don't understand, but For Honor, nobody's talking about it, but it's this medieval combat game where it's, I don't know why everybody calls it like these things MOBAs. They're just going like, hey, this is like a new MOBA that has like, you're a captain kind of thing and you go around and you kill all of the creeps and stuff, but I get that it is kind of like that in a way, but it's not at all, because still it's, I don't know why, but I would compare it somehow to Dynasty Warriors. Because, you know, Dynasty Warriors, you have a bunch of, like, people fighting in the background, but it's not the most important thing. You have to fight, like, the big guys first, and those are the most important. Screw all the little guys. You can kill those pretty easily, but you're fighting, it's like, I think it was 4v4 that they showed a little bit of footage from, and, yeah. Like, at the very beginning of the match, you, like, run up with all of your little guys, and you're just like, and then you just, like, go and kill a little bit of the enemies, and then they actually have, like, the medieval combat of actually, you know, you have to, like, aim your control stick, like, okay, I think they're gonna go from the top. Okay, I'm gonna try to block it, and then you try to go from the side, right side, left side, and it looks awesome. I don't know how to describe it other than still. It's just medieval kind of combat, and For Honor is awesome. It looks amazing, and I'm probably gonna be buying that day one, because I want a game that is like swords and stuff that is in that manner. I've always wanted one like that, because I'm thinking back, and I don't know if there's actually one exactly like that, because they do have... The only thing that I can ever think of when it's just like, this is PvP kind of like medieval thing that's based directly and all around PvP is like chivalry. But, I mean, that's not the same kind of style, you know? I don't know. It looks cool. That's what I have to say for Honor. I think that it's going to be very good of a hit. Probably. Well, at least for me, it's going to be a big hit. With a sword. But yeah. That and also, I guess, like, if I can count it at all, Dark Souls 3, but they didn't, like, show anything of Dark Souls 3 at this E3. And that's probably for the best. Just leave all of the surprises of Dark Souls 3, which is supposedly, like, the last of the Souls series. Which is kind of a sad thing, because, I mean, I love Dark Souls. But they're probably going to make something new, and it'll probably be good, because Bloodborne is supposed to be pretty good, and maybe it is. It's probably not going to be the same to me, because, I mean, I don't like the style of just, like, werewolf kind of thing. Isn't that what, like... I'm going to say that's what Bloodborne's all about. They're all about werewolves. Dark Souls is all about, still, medieval combat with dragons and cool things like that. Yep. That's the way it is. I don't know how to describe it other than that still. But, yeah. Was there anything else about E3 that I wanted to talk about? I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about E3. Because, I mean, I talked about even, like, the hipster kind of stuff that, like, that's what they're making nowadays. That nobody wants to play. At least I don't want to play it. Because, I mean, I even heard people that say about, like, Dreams. They're just like, yeah, I don't like it. I don't agree. It's like Project Spark, but... Project Spark! And nobody wants Project Spark. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to talk about for that. This is getting very close to the hour mark now. We're getting ever closer. So, I don't know the exact thing to be talking about, because there's so many things on my list now. So many things. My computer screen keeps turning off and it bothers me. But maybe, just maybe, I'll talk about still. I have these kind of things, and also this. Oh yeah, if you talk into it, then it just sounds really amazing. Definitely. And there's like... Most importantly... These are called like spatulas, right? Maybe? I don't remember. Does it have like a little name device on it? No. But, I have to say that I have like some of the best friends ever, in a way. Because, still like... You know how when people get married, they just like give away, like, no, they don't give away things, that's the other way around. They, like, people give them a bunch of just like stuff, you know, to start off their life. So they have like oven mitts and stuff, like I started out the video with. That's what they need to have as well. They need to have a Cooking Mama game for Wii U, please. But, yeah, like, they have, a couple of my friends are getting married and they just like have a bunch of stuff and they're just like, hey, you can have it. These are like presents and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll take it. Because I like free things. Especially when I have free things that I don't own already. That's the most important kind of free things. So they have a lot of stuff and they give me stuff. And it's just like, you guys are amazing. Because who doesn't want one of these things? It's amazing. Because then when I actually do move out of this place, which is going to be very soon, then, like, you know, it's good to actually have a couple little things here and there, because then I can... It's time to cook! That's not any way near of how... Bryan Cranston... What's his name in the show again? Mr. Heisenberg? Or something like that? Because he's... I think it's something like that, I don't know. But yeah, Breaking Bad, it's like that, but I mean, I can't do the thing. Also, I haven't even watched Breaking Bad, because I'm a terrible person. But I'll probably watch it at some point. Probably when I get better internet. Still, whenever I'm leaving, but... Still, that's an amazing thing. Because you never know when you might need to screw somebody. You never know. And also you never know when you might want to drop it by accident. Let's see, other than that, various other topics that are very important and pressing for discussion. This is just a show and tell thing, at least, at this point. Look at that. Nope, like, there's barely anybody that liked my photo on Facebook, and I was very disappointed, because, I mean, there's not every day that you get, like, this for, like, I think it was, like, $40 for Destiny, the limited edition, on Xbox 360. I own two copies of that game now, and I'm never going to open this limited edition because it's probably going to be a lot of money. Because I like to collect things still. So, I think that's like a lot of just like the show and tell. Other than that, Kirby has been in the background watching. He's been watching you. He's been staring directly into your soul this entire time. But, yeah. I have Kirby. That was a Christmas present, and I just haven't really showed it yet. Also, like, I do have a couple other things to show over there, but they're not really important. They're not relevant anymore. They're not hilarious either. But I will, like, the other topic that I'll just briefly talk about, because there's a lot to talk about for this topic. And that is because, you know how before I had, like, a vlog thing about, like, hey, drinking, blah, 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 meet the firsts, because it's a radio thing. So, the last meet the first that I was at, which is, like, the last one that you're generally supposed to be at because it's the third semester, and the fourth semester is the practicum, which I'm going to be going on in September, where you just like show up anywhere, blah blah blah, and you know, you're usually not in the city exactly, and most people, if you show up for the fourth semester, then they're just like, why are you here? This is weird. Why are you here to drink? But then again, there was actually quite a few people from fourth semester going in this last time for radio and television, so it's all fine. But this very last one that I went to, I don't know which story to start with. I think it is going to be the one where there was this one person, because I mean, still, everybody that goes to it wears white. You have to wear a white shirt and everybody draws on you and just like writes things. And there's this one girl who's wearing a white shirt that it said Bambi, and it was like, you know, the Bambi face on it. And I just thought, you know what? This is going to be a masterpiece. So what I did, as I went up to her, I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to draw on your shirt. I don't really ask because, you know, you just draw on people. And then when they're just drinking and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But I think this was even when she just showed up. I was one of the first people to do anything of drawing on the shirt. Instantly, where my mind went, I'm just like, I think that I asked her first, because I'm just like, because I didn't ask about drawing, but I asked about, so, in the movie Bambi, isn't Bambi's mom, like, doesn't she die? And she's just like, yeah, I think so. It's been a while since I've watched the movie, and I'm just like, okay. So then I put, like, an apostrophe S, and then, you know, because it said Bambi on it, and so I wrote on there, Bambi's mom is dead. Just straight up, I just wrote that on, like, the lower portion of the shirt. And, like, in big letters, too, and it's just amazing. Just like, and I'm just like, well, you know, that's what you get for wearing a Bambi shirt. So, I like to have my fun, and then, like, other people would just come up and say, like, well, Bambi's mom is dead, and I just appear out of nowhere and go, yep, that's what I do. I was the one to write on it. Also, I think I was advertising my YouTube channel on a few of these shirts. I don't remember if it was this year or last year. I would just write youtube.com/GlacierKano. I would just literally just write a URL. Because that's what I like to do. But also, another story from that is that when I was just specifically at these kind of events, I don't buy very many drinks. People buy, like, every drink for me, it seems like. I'm just really good at getting people to buy drinks for me. Maybe it's because, like, they want me to be getting drunk, and I'm just like, I'm not paying for things. And then they just go ahead. And the best part about it is that, like, I love the way that this one guy mentioned it. Because he was going to buy me a drink, and, like, just showed up to the bar front, and they're just like, oh, and we got into a conversation with this other girl. And he's just like, oh, you're going to be buying us drinks. And So, like, yeah, still, she bought us, like, these really delicious, like, I don't even know, but it tasted like cranberry juice or, like, strawberries. It was some sort of fruity thing. And we just, like, that was our challenge, and we were just, like, trying to drink it, like, as fast as possible. You know, you just chug these things, because they're very delicious. So, yeah, so what we did, and, like, I don't know when the conversation was. I think it was before we even got our drinks, but, like, that one guy was just like, yeah, so you got, like, the hottest girl in the bar to buy you drinks, and I'm just like, well, isn't that normal? Because still, it was partially because it was my, like, other buddy from, like, the next semester over that she would just, like, buy me drinks too, but I mean, women just buy me drinks. It happens. But I mean, who wouldn't buy a drink for this face? Yeah. Because people just buy me drinks. Like, what's wrong with that? That's normal, right? Other people spend money because they're just like, hey, I want you to get drunk. Have fun. That's a warning. You better have fun. And I'm just like, oh no, don't hurt me, please. Just let me have the alcohol. So, that's the thing. But yeah, everybody just buys me drinks. So that's normal. That is normal. And I don't like to say when somebody says otherwise. They're just like, whoa, everybody's buying you drinks. I'm just like, no, that's normal. You're all getting it wrong by buying your own drinks. You're supposed to get things bought for you. But I mean, unless it's just something like still these were presents that were presents for me, because that's not, you don't expect to get a spatula, but when you do, that's a good present. But you always gotta expect alcohol. I'm an entitled person. It's only when it comes to alcohol. Everything else, I'm just like, yeah, it's so nice. You're all so friendly. But then when it comes to alcohol, I'm just like, you're gonna buy me a drink. I don't know. Maybe I don't actually tell people to, but I mean, it just happens. I expect it to happen, and it just does. So I mean, I guess I am entitled, but at the same time, I'm not, because I'm just like, you know, it's very nice of you. Thank you very much. But it just happens. I don't know how to describe it other than that, but I mean, it doesn't matter. They probably are the hottest girls in the bar. They buy me drinks, but I mean, they're already in relationships anyway, so I mean, it's not like it means anything. They just buy me drinks because they're very nice people. And I get along with the ladies very well, okay? So, I'm sorry if you do not get along very well with them. We are very good friends. But yeah, I think like the only other like story I want to briefly mention, because I mean still we're like getting to an hour, or over an hour probably by now, that I did also like recently go to a bar in the city which has arcade games, and like I don't think I had anything to drink there because I already like I had a few drinks before that, and I was trying to sober up a bit before, because I actually had to drive home. I only had like 2 drinks, so I mean, and it was several hours afterward that we were going to this other thing, so it's fine. I can drive many hours, and I probably had very, very low alcohol stuff in my blood at that point, because for the main reason of playing video games. Playing video games really sobered me up. I was amazed, because I think that's partially the idea that they really want people to drink a lot, and it gets people to drink more because you're playing video games. So you spend money playing the games, or like the arcade, and you spend more money for drinking, and it just like balances itself out. But I was playing Star Wars, and it was amazing. I was just playing this one Star Wars. It was like a first-person like flying shooter thing, and I'm just like, ew, we have like it's like a little stick. I don't know what you call it, but it's like a fly stick, and you're just like flying around, just ooh. And so yeah, that was a pretty cool bar, but the one problem with that is like being like an introverted kind of person like me is just there's way too many people. That was the busiest bar I've ever been to, and it makes sense because there's video games there, and it's amazing. But I would want to go there on a night where just like it's nice and calm. You can just play as many games as you want. Maybe have a drink. I'd be there basically spending all my money on the arcade machines though. And it's like, you do know this is a bar, right? We expect you to have, there's some sort of 5-drink limit. I don't know what that actually means, but I'm just assuming that that means you have to actually drink a lot of drinks. And I'm just like, no, I'm playing games! And then they kick me out, and I'm just like holding on to an arcade machine the entire time. And just like, you can't get me to leave! And then they throw me with the arcade machine out. And I'm never back there ever again. That's the end of the story, right? So yeah, that's the one bar that's like the best bar but the worst bar at the same time. Arcade machines, but there's way too many people. Maybe it was because there was like a live performance that night, but there might just be a lot of people there in general. I'm not too sure. So that's pretty much all I had like listed, at least that's relevant to this current day and age right now. Well, at least with E3 and then like E3 combined with spatulas. I'm still gonna say that's a spatula. Because you do that, and then you go, I'm still gonna play Cooking Mama. Because I want more Cooking Mama games. I need to find that on Wii. I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna see if I can find it on Wii, because I mean, I would totally make a gameplay of me playing Cooking Mama, because Cooking Mama is amazing. And if you say otherwise, you just don't know anything about cooking. But yeah, that's like it for all of this, because I mean, we're getting really far into the ages of things and how long I'm going. And yeah, this is a pretty good time. Pretty good time of show and tell, at least at the end here. E3. 2016 is going to be a lot better for E3, I know for a fact. Just because I'm going to be more positive, for one, still. I like to make lists. Lists are awesome. And number two, there's going to be Zelda. Zelda's going to be there no matter what. There's going to be Zelda Wii U. And not just like this little mini game for Zelda that's like Triforce Heroes while we wait. But Triforce Heroes is pretty fun. It's pretty fun that I played it, so. Yeah. Until next time, hopefully I'll be doing another one of these things soon enough, but soon enough could mean anything. I don't know. It depends. Also, I might still... I said before that I'm going to try to put a lot more just crazy randomness on this channel. I might work on that just like in a little bit here. Not today exactly, but in the next week because... Well, at least I need to work on it to upload a little bit later. So, I'm going to be doing that. Hopefully. Hopefully. My main concern is always still the main channel. Number two concern, another list, because I mean I love lists, is still King Kirby 77 channel, which I'm going to be putting more stuff up on. And then the third is this one. But I mean, this channel is still pretty cool. Podcast-ish things ahoy! So yeah, that's it for now, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. Lanyards are amazing. That's the most spectacular of endings, because I don't know what else to do.